Morning. I've got another testimony here, so I'm just going to give it a go. It's not mine, by the way. Converted from Satanism. I am a Christian converted by God from Satanism. After leaving a comment online about a Christian video, I started receiving mail from a Satanist. Oh, goodness. Since then, we have corresponded back and forth. He sends a satanic hymn and I send him scripture and do my best to witness to him. I pray the Lord opens his eyes. The following includes my testimony and was my first letter. Dear Satanist that left me a comment that I deleted. Perhaps the Lord sent you here for a reason. I'll be praying for you. You don't know why, but I hope one day you'll see before it's too late. I used to be a Satanist myself, by the way. You seem like you're a lot nicer than I was. When I was 4 years old, my parents were avoiding each other. I have flashbacks from before then, but that's all I can remember in terms of their relationship to each other. When I was five, my parents were getting a divorce. All I knew was that my dad had just become a Christian and now my mum was moving out. So I hated him for it. And not only that, but I listened to the lies of the devil and hated the God of my father as well. I set my rebellious heart fiercely against him. From ages 5 to 16, I attended church twice on Sundays and on Wednesday evenings. I hated it. I had hateful eyes towards the people there. I purposely shut my ears to the truth. However, there were a few people there I couldn't help but like. They were few and far between, but they were genuine and real. Down to earth people that took an interest in me. And liked me. Even though my hate for the church had to be written all over me, why they reached out to me I didn't know. But bottom line, I hated the hypocrites, and to spite them I rebelled against God. Never wanting to spend a second with them. In the next life. And where were all the hypocrites going to end up? Heaven? I don't think so. Little did I know I was headed to hell, where all the hypocrites were going to be too. I lied to myself constantly, making a discipline of hardening myself to anything Christian, resisting any temptation to be moved by anything I heard and had been steered or touched by. Oddly enough, the Christians were the only ones trying to save me. I didn't think an atheist, Satanist or Buddhist ever cared that much. I was never going to allow myself to become a Christian. It would be the farthest thing from me. I took pride in myself and lived for me. Self-exaltation, superiority, self-indulgence, self-styled. I thought it was ironic that I went through so much depression. Later, I acknowledged to myself that I was probably bipolar. I wouldn't let it show because I didn't want to show any signs of weakness, even though I think I was the most insecure person I knew. When I was 6, we lived next to some Satanists who killed my neighbour's pet rabbit. Hello. And told the little girl about it. I still thought they were cool. Cops were there almost every weekend. They lived there for a couple of years and then moved. When I was in the 4th grade, my older sister started a Bible study with my older brother, her boyfriend and 4 others. 2 people from a church a gangbanger hiding from his gang, and yep, an ex-Satanist. I wanted to know all about their past that seemed so glamorous to me. The ex-Satanist, now preacher, was a pastor's son who watched his best friend get taken over by demonic possession. About a week later, his friend died in a car accident on his way home from a ritual. Oh my goodness me. The gangbanger lost his faith and stopped coming. I never heard what happened to him. I always wondered if his gang ever found him. I continued on my rebellious ways, still unsatisfied with life and running into depression. I was 8 when I almost got arrested. The same year, I was almost expelled from school for property damage. When I was 12, I finally got arrested. I almost went to juvenile hall for that one. Inwardly and outwardly, I was evil. Yet somehow, I thought I was wiser and better than anyone. I should be dead or in prison right now. Anyway, I married my high school sweetheart when I was 20. I bought a house at the same time. I was high every day for the next 2 years and drunk frequently. On the weekends, I would wake up and put whiskey in my coffee. I was wretched yet self-righteous. I justified everything I did, and in my head I was always right, and if somehow I couldn't justify it, I shoved that memory aside. I was strong. I was happier than my wife because I made sure I won all the arguments. I felt I was doing more than her because I brought home a bigger check. Most fights started because I thought I did more around the house, even though in my reality she did a lot. I just ignored it. And I didn't even stop and think for a minute that she was tired from working so much and worn out. On top of a stressful job, I had destroyed her self-confidence at home and made her feel worthless. I never hit her, I just made her feel like nothing. My wife loved me anyway. All in all, I thought we mostly had a good marriage. I could only keep the depression down for so long before it would flood me again. Sometimes I would lose all emotion and become apathetic. One night that was the case. I had just been through a low spot and had finally lost almost all feeling. I was pretty numb. I had what I thought was a moment of clarity. It was 2 o'clock and my high was wearing off. I took a vaguely honest look at my life. I admitted to myself I was a scumbag. Too big for the bag anymore. All of my years before seemed wasted. I couldn't figure out the past puzzles that my mind wouldn't let me let go of. I'll do a part 2 because I've got to take these tickets back and get on the train. I'm going to miss the train otherwise. I didn't realise this was such a long one. Okay, I'll do a part 2. Bye!